Ever since we've moved to our current place, we've gotten a lot of flyers in the mail. And a lot of them are for local restaurants. Now, my tendency is to find these very annoying because most of them just go right to recycling and I hardly even look at them. But the fact that I'm a graphic designer means that it's really hard for me to just throw it away. I often have to look at it and analyze it from a design perspective and, you know, ask myself, if I had been designing this particular flyer, what might have I done differently? So I thought it might be interesting to take some of these flyers that have come in the mail and give them a score based on a very professional rubric that I've come up with. As you can see, very professional because it's in a notebook. Whichever flyer ends up with the highest score at the end of this, Jasmine and I are going to order from that place for supper tonight. Let's get started. First up we have Burger King. I gotta say my first impression of this is actually pretty good, but just in general it's bright, it's fun. I think this is an 8. Orange and red are often used in food, especially fast food. Apparently those colors make you hungry. I kind of feel hungry right now. Yeah, so I like this orange that they have going on. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 for colors. The shape and the bubbliness of this font kind of, you know, it reminds me of the food, like a sandwich or something. The $5 here is kind of what my eye is immediately drawn to. There's not a super great flow in the imagery, and this also available in spicy is kind of, it looks a little misplaced. The back is nice.
Oh, the back is nice.
I'm gonna give this a 6. And then this image of the chicken nuggets on the back is, but it looks crisp in more ways than one. The last category is Ask Jasmine. Hey Jazz, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to eat here based on this flyer?
Oh.
Just like, you know, what's the first number that comes to your mind?
8.
8. Why are you changing your mind? Or are we sticking with 8?
What am I supposed to base it on? Like my prior knowledge of the restaurant, or just the
we'll just go with 8. This is a pretty like loose system already. All right, next up we have Genki Sushi Bubble Tea. This is an entire menu. So it's a tri-fold brochure type thing, but it's pretty big, and it's got some images in it, but just a lot of menu options. My first impression is not super great. There's nothing really that stands out. They could have made the logo stand out more. It's hard to even see right away what the name of this place is. The fact that they have so many menu options feels a little overwhelming to me right now. I mean, if I decided I wanted to eat here, it might be nice to see every single thing they have on their menu. But right now it just feels like a lot of information to take in, and there's no way I'm gonna even read it all. So first impression is not great. We're gonna give it a 3. It's all black, which just seems dark and unappealing. They have little sushis that are sunbathing here. I kind of completely jumped over that. Anyway, we'll give this a 4 for color. Just on this front page, I see probably like 10 different font sizes, which just makes the whole thing really, really busy. The food looks good, but it's really small. I feel like they could have made some of the images bigger in some places to add more interest. And then they've got some weird crops going on, like here, for example, there's a weird corner. I mean, this is definitely different than all the others, I think, in that they have their entire menu on here. So it's kind of a unique approach. So we'll give it a little bit of a higher score here. Give it a 7. Jasmine gave this a 0.
I personally really like the flyer. I just don't like sushi.
Pizza Hut. They sent us a flyer with one fold, so there's an inside and then a front and back. I mean, it looks good, it looks appealing, it looks Pizza Hut. Decent first impression. I'm gonna say 6. And I think they've done a pretty good job here with colors. They've stayed very consistent. on the front and back using just mainly the black and the red, and I think it has a nice almost classy look to it, even though I know Pizza Hut isn't classy. Again, they've done a good job here of making it look professional. Maybe take a few points off for using all caps on so much on the front. I think a little bit busier than it would have to be, but pretty good. Let's give it a 7. Yeah, they've done a good job of hierarchy with just making certain titles bigger. That kind of stands out first. It feels slightly thicker than the last two, so we'll give it a 4. What makes it stand out? I think we have to give it a high score here, just because they made an attempt at doing a cool, like making the pizza a clock, and then, you know, the Pizza Hut to your home. They definitely have a bit of a concept going on. It's even in the headline, "We deliver delicious." There's some alliteration. I think this gets like an 8 for standing out factor.
9.
A 9?
Because of this big box of stuff on the back.
You want to get the box?
Yeah. It's got everything.
Alright, moving on. Next we have Sam's Grill. I actually hadn't heard of this place before tonight, but Jasmine has seen it, and I know that this is the place that she wants to eat. I will try not to let that affect my judgment. We have an entire menu, it looks like, again. So very similar to Genki's. As far as design, they've done a much better job. An interesting mix of imagery and stuff going on. Yeah, I think my first impression is it's kind of a cool menu. We'll give this a 6. Now for the inside of this, I really like how they've done it with the light background. It makes it nice and easy to read, and then highlighting the different categories in red with knockout type, I think was a good decision as well. But when you look at front and back, it does feel like too much of the same with the light background. I think there would have been some opportunity to mix it up a bit more. A 7, it's pretty good. I mean, there's already a couple different fonts going on in the logo and tagline here. Then there's a couple more fonts. Yeah, so I think they just have a bit too much going on when it comes to different types of fonts. I see a bit of inconsistencies in how they've treated the font. Like, they have some pretty heavy outlines. We'll give it a 5. I think they could have just simplified this a lot. Like, I don't know, it just feels like these are kind of competing against each other. So maybe just choosing one of those for the front cover is something that I would have done if I were designing this. These have a background and these are like on plates top down, these aren't, so just a bit inconsistent. So for imagery, we will give this a 6.
Well, I think I need to give this a 10.
It's a 10.
Because when I look at it, it makes me think of like a diner or something, and I like those kinds of restaurants.
Domino's. Hawaiian is my favorite kind of pizza, and they have a huge Hawaiian pizza right on the front of this, and that is looking like most appealing to me right now, which means I haven't given a 10 yet, have I? Alright, I gotta give a 10. I think they've done a really nice job actually with typography. It's really simple, which I like. They just a couple different kinds of pizzas and one offer on the front. Somewhere I gotta take points off for this weird graphic here, this order online graphic. The stroke widths look different from this circle compared to this rounded rectangle. And then this mouse graphic, it's pixelated, which I'm guessing was a design choice, but it just looks strange to me. So I think layout is where we're gonna really hit this hard. We'll give it a 4. Wait, but I just said I liked the layout. But man, this graphic is terrible. Material, it's, like I said, it's a bit thicker, just a little bit nicer to feel, not that much nicer. We'll give it a 5. Stands out a little bit for just being simple. Maybe give this a 6 for standing out.
I want to eat this a 7.
Let's add up these scores. Do you have a calculator on your phone? Pizza Hut won with 60 points. Kudos to whoever designed the Pizza Hut brochure. You did good. We had no choice but to go through with ordering from Pizza Hut. Jasmine got her giant box, and you know, we rather enjoyed our meal. The moral of the story is, Even though the majority of people might put mail flyers right in the trash, keep sending them. Because you never know when the next graphic designer will need content for a video. Alright, let's go.
That's it?
Let's go. How'd it look?
Quick. I don't know. Just watching you.